This episode has been brought to you by Sanibel. At Sanibel, they are committed to creating professional-grade equipment engineered to perform at the highest level. Anything from focus mitts to shin pads and boxing gloves. Go to Sanibel's website at sanibelsports.com and use code The Define Podcast for 10% off all sales. That is code The Define Podcast for 10% off all sales. Thank you, Sanibel. Back to the show.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Define Podcast. Today, we have the one, the only, Justin Sims. Let's go. How the hell are you, brother?
I'm really good, man. How are you?
Good, man, good. It's been a long time.
It's been a hot minute.
Long time. I've missed you, man.
I'm supposed to sit back. I miss you too, but you're always with me.
Yeah. In
You know what I
spirit,
mean?
right?
Yeah, all the real homies.
You're like my big brother / uncle, all in one.
That you can beat up.
No, that I can
He said no.
You could probably beat the shit out of me, Justin. Let's be real.
If I had a weapon, it evens it.
How's your striking?
Oh,
Like with a weapon?
Yeah.
if you had without the weapon, if you put him on the UFC game, he would be 4.5 stars striking.
Okay.
Grappling would be on like 3.5 stars.
Okay.
Stamina, I'll be honest, would be on like 2. But
Okay.
but
Facts.
he's like a one-hitter quitter type of guy.
Got
like
you.
he'll pop.
30
it's over.
seconds.
In the video game, yeah. dude. In the video game.
You got a
Holy
good 30
shit.
seconds in you.
Yeah.
And then and then I'm fucked.
Then you got to pull out the gun.
Yeah, then the weapon comes.
Yeah.
That's why we're in Florida. Stand your
Facts.
ground, pull out a gun.
That's why all my best friends are badasses like you guys.
Yeah.
I'm a well-protected nerd.
Yeah.
And I'm like Bob Marley. You know what I
Didn't they
mean?
just pass that bill or that law where you can conceal carry without a license now?
What?
I just read that somewhere. I don't know if it's true, though. Don't quote me.
I was in Iowa last year,
That's why.
and everybody carries a Glock in their back.
Mm-hmm.
In the
Like,
pocket?
dude, I'm in the line at a convenience store in Iowa, and there's a larger chick in front of me wearing spandex too tight, bro, and she's got a Glock
Ugh.
sitting.
Dang.
It was touching her ass crack,
Ugh.
sticking out of her. Dude, everybody.
Wait,
Iowa,
I feel like that's the
Iowa.
dumbest place to put a gun. Is like on your back. Wouldn't you put it on your side?
I mean, if she got a good if she works on her draw. You
But
don't
like,
know-
what
you
if
don't know if
someone's
she-
behind you? They're
you don't
gonna
know if she's
take it
home
out.
working on that thing. Like,
I mean,
Probably.
you're good at scratching your booty.
Probably.
I mean, I feel like if it's behind you, someone behind you would see it, like you just did. Say if you're
Dude,
crazy
she
enough to
wasn't
grab
trying
it.
to hide it, but nobody there is. Everybody carries. Everybody carries there.
dang.
Fuck.
It threw me off at first.
To
I'm
me,
like,
I
holy
feel like
shit.
I'd put it on my waist. That's
Well, if it's true, I'm glad I didn't waste my money on a permit. Because now I can just have it on me.
to be honest. I think a lot of people that carry guns don't carry them legally. I don't know if I
For
would
sure.
say the majority. Depends on where you live,
Depends where you live, yeah.
but even here in Florida, I think most people that have guns.
It doesn't
are-
stop. It doesn't stop.
it doesn't stop a shit.
I think since the pandemic, people have gotten more paranoid overall,
Yeah.
and so that people carry it. You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
why I
yeah,
got mine.
Yeah.
remember when there was that part of the early pandemic when you thought, like, any day now, people are going to start running through the streets and taking
Oh.
over everything.
I had that.
And
It
was
was
going down.
It was. I remember I called my friend,
Right.
and my old coach back in Chicago. He has a farm like in the middle of bumfuck Illinois, and we all called each other. We're like, "Hey, shit's going down.
That's
If-
the Alamo.
yeah, but if shit goes south, we're meeting up. We're meeting up there. We could self-sustain for at least 5 months. He has a fuck ton of guns,
Yeah.
and
And
we'll
that
be
was a
good.
collective feeling, though, is my point.
Oh, we
But
all were
yes,
in a group
yes,
chat. We're like, "Yo, this is happening." Like, there's like, I'm like, "What's his address?" Like,
I avoided buying a weapon for a while, and then the pandemic started, and I saw people were like getting robbed and looted, and I'm like, damn it, I guess I gotta go get me gun.
shit. It's
And yeah, I got
Scary.
nothing against weapon. I just wasn't. It wasn't really. I wasn't like really like. Let me go get guns so I can have. But now it was like I have to get one now, like just in case. And I had a crazy neighbor, so
It's. I think you should have one for sure. If you're legally allowed to have one, why not?
I mean, my move was I travel for work a
Mhm.
lot.
Yeah.
I'm also not a fighter. So if a guy like you or you try to come in my house and want to hurt us,
Even if you are a fighter,
what am I going to do to you that wants to hurt me if I don't have something?
right.
So that's one thing. And two, when I'm gone, That's why I bought a very big dog at one point.
Yeah.
That was like 7 feet tall.
What
Yeah.
kind of dog?
I don't even know what Bo was. Husky. He was huge, bro.
Yeah.
But like sitting down, he was taller than me.
Dogs are great.
Now
to
I have a
protect
tiny
yourself.
dog.
Oh.
But
She still
those
fucks
are
somebody
scarier,
up.
going
though.
downhill.
She'll still fuck somebody up.
But yeah,
Gabby.
but
Tiny dogs are feistier. They'll scare you away.
she's a great guard dog.
Oh, they'll let you
I'll
know.
know you're
Yeah,
there. I'll know you're there
Yeah.
before you know where I am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's the thing with those type of dogs. They're annoying as fuck when they bark all the time, but that annoyance is good because you know they're barking at something,
Mhm.
right? And it's within the perimeter of your house at least, because they're not going to bark about something that's like far
Right.
away. It's like
But if
someone's
I'm trying to come
approaching, right?
Your dog's gonna be like somebody's at the door.
Yeah, yeah. I remember I used to be so annoyed when dogs do that, but I'm like, think about it, like, oh, they're warning you that something's happening. So next time you throw something at your dog about because it's barking too much, it's like he's trying to save your life.
We also don't know what they're saying.
Yeah.
They'd be like, "Yo, what up? How are you?"
They bark at every little thing, but yeah.
Speaking on that, we're hella all over the place. But
Yeah.
there's a dog. There's this.
There's no context to
You
this
seen
podcast.
this?
I just
You
missed
seen a
Justin.
TikTok where the dog he presses buttons and it can talk like to the owner.
No
Like,
fucking way.
yeah, like-
it knows what it's pushing.
What? So it's
No
trained to
shit.
know. Like it's got. I'm talking like a whole palette of buttons, right? And it says why and
So he gets
how,
a pick.
and it
No
knows
fucking way.
it knows and the dog owner like says like what's your name and it'll say bunny and then it'll be like who is bunny like it gained like self-awareness
And it's a real dog.
it's a
not-
real dog and then it'll look at itself in the mirror why
No fucking way.
yeah
I
look
wonder
it up.
why it's looking at itself in the mirror asking why.
And then it's ask who is bunny, and then it'll look at it was strange. I looked
See,
it
now it
up.
started getting creepy.
It
Yeah,
started
this
getting
is
creepy, yeah. And then like the
interesting.
dog is like gaining self awareness in a way,
Which is probably bad.
and it's like kind of
Yeah.
depressed now. It's like on it's like on
The
antidepressants.
dog is?
Yes.
Who puts their
Yes.
dog on antidepressants? What the fuck?
White people.
Not to make
Jesus
it weirder, but
Christ.
this was actually, I'm not joking, this was a Simpsons episode in the
No
early
way.
90s
They put their dog?
about a guy that made an invention that you could understand what dogs were saying, like an animal translator.
What?
Yeah.
Well, the Simpsons are always fucking right.
what
They
I'm
always
saying.
predict shit. That's
And
weird.
it-
How the fuck do they do that?
It just seems like the way they
Strange.
put the whole story. That's like it's a person stuck in a dog, like because it's like
He just sent me on a fucking rabbit hole. This whole afternoon I'm going to be fucking looking for this
look
thing,
it up,
dude.
bunny.
Oh, I'm finding it today.
You think it's
yeah.
like some Get Out shit where like
Nah, I don't know.
Some get out shit. You mean the dog saying,
Sunken place.
yeah,
Why?
The Sunken Place? That was a great movie, by the way. How did you feel about it?
I don't know that movie. I
Never
don't watch
seen?
a lot of movies.
Mm.
And that's
Really?
because of my dad, yeah.
I see.
My
Oh,
dad
yeah.
ruined movies
yeah.
for me.
Yeah,
In a lot of ways.
You're always in the theater and
Yeah.
on set and shit, so that
Yeah.
kind of.
He used to take notes at movies and stuff.
Oh,
that
wow.
like as a little kid.
What did forgive me, I don't know much about
No,
you.
no,
but
please.
What did your dad do?
My dad was an acting director,
Okay.
and he directed plays in theaters and stuff. So at a young age, I started like critiquing movies. Like I wasn't seeing a movie, I guess, like I was supposed to. I was seeing like a script,
Right.
or I was seeing like a bad choice, or like a missed moment.
Right.
Which is why I've never appreciated like avatars or like Star Wars. Special effects never did anything for me. Very rarely. It has to be like character driven.
Got you. I didn't start like seeing movies that way till I got older. So and it ruined like acting. Like I could tell when the acting is bad and or there's a plot hole here, or like and that's why I like anime more now. I fucks more with animation like things.
That's why I like comic books because it's not as scripted to me.
Yeah.
And that's also why I first started watching fighting like 30 years ago, was because I didn't know what was going to come next.
Right.
That is deep.
It was the same thing
Holy
with
shit.
That's
with,
true, and that's still why I watch it still. I don't watch movies, but I never miss a fight because I don't know what's coming. I can't go, that's not a real moment because everybody's truth comes out in a fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
God damn it.
And that's what a real actor's always trying to get to is the truth.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
That's why when the ones that do stand out, they act like they make you feel that.
Let me
Emotion.
mess you up even more. Notice now, I'm gonna make it even worse for you. All your favorite actors.
All right, I just wanted to take the time out to thank our new sponsors, We Hate Clubs. We Hate Clubs is a brand which was developed with the idea that people should live outside of their comfortable spaces. Leaning into music, art, photography, parties, and fashion, We Hate Clubs is built to function as something greater than oneself. Make sure to follow We Hate Clubs on Instagram if you're in the Chicagoland area. Now back to the show.
Especially when they do have close-ups, they never blink, bro. So like Denzel's like my favorite at crying and not blinking hardly. So like I taught myself that because I grew up doing theater, and then when I was about 20, I'm 42 now, I started doing film. And I saw that I was too stage on film at first. I was too big, I blinked too much. Now I can cry. Now I know how many times I blink in a film. I can be like, oh, that feature film that I'm in, I blinked twice. One time was accident, one time I made the choice to blink. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like, I think a really, really strong film actor will not lose a staring contest. You know what I mean?
I don't think I've noticed
way.
that.
Yeah,
Wow.
Now you will.
Yeah.
Now you will.
Why is there like an art to that?
Well,
Is there like something about an emotion that when you blink it's not genuine? Or
Absolutely. What were you gonna say?
I think it's just they have their craft down to the smallest detail. They have it so down to the small detail to where they can just time their blinks. you know?
Partially. But think about it,
right?
like, let me put it this way. If you guys are doing a play, right?
Oh.
And behind me, I'm sitting in the front row. But
Oh, my-
behind me is behind me is 5 balconies.
Mm-hmm.
Thousands of people in here. Doesn't matter if you blink in that environment.
Right.
You need to make it play all the way to that last
Like
balcony
on stage, you're saying.
on stage.
Right.
Now in film, it goes from that to there's no hiding here, bro.
Right.
Every wrinkle of the forehead, if I talk out of the side of my mouth, everything is there.
Mm-hmm.
So if I look down a lot, it shows weakness in the character.
Right.
You know what I mean? The eyes are the strongest part of the actor. The eyes and the imagination, right?
Right.
But the eyes are the strongest part of the actor, you know? Which is why there's a lot of parallels. Well, that's not why, but it's one of the reasons why there's a lot of parallels between acting and fighting.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you hear fighters say, the eyes don't lie, right?
Like they're in a face-off, right?
Right.
Right.
You can see through the other guy. You can see because that's where the inner thoughts are.
Yeah.
That's where the subtext is. So like when an author gives, in the writing, they fill up all the black on the paper with the typing, right? It's the actor's job to fill in the white on the page with everything that's underneath the line.
Right.
Because there's 2 scripts to memorize, really, when you're playing a role. The one you're saying and the one you're feeling and thinking. Because you're experiencing that right now. What you're thinking inside and what you're letting come out
Right.
is 2 different things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's subtext, you know?
If there's one film that you're in that people need to watch, what's that? Because you're in a lot. But if there's like one specific one, it's like,
I'm only going to say this because of the message.
okay,
So if there was one thing to watch, it would be The Edge of Madness.
okay, you showed
And
me
that
that.
stars
I really
with
like that.
me and Dean Thomas star in
Yeah.
that film. But it's about substance abuse. It's about addiction. So I would say, like, People We Lost is in that film. That's why we sold that film to a treatment center.
Okay.
Every day that film helps people,
Wow.
you know?
I gotta watch it.
Yeah.
It's very
Do you
powerful.
is it anywhere?
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
On YouTube.
It's on YouTube. People can watch it on Daylight Detox, is YouTube page. So if you just type in Daylight Detox, The Edge of Madness, it'll come up.
I'll look that up today. Actually.
But they show the clients there at the treatment center, so people that are really the wounded of the wounded.
Mm.
And I think it'll give even if it gives one person hope, or even a little more time to hold on to something. Because a lot of times people are in the dark and they have nothing to hold on to except the idea, the hope that things can get better.
Right.
So that film would be the one
Yeah.
because of the impact. I mean, I'm in other movies. I'm in horror movies and movies about this and movie about that, but none of them they're just movies.
Right. That's the most impactful one that you could provide to people, right?
It's the most important message,
Right.
for sure. And it's loosely based on my story, loosely.
Mm-hmm.
Parts of it.
You wrote it, right?
Yeah, my
You
wife
wrote
and I wrote it, and then we produced it, which means we paid for it. So whenever you see producer
Right.
in a film, it means they
They pay
get
for
it.
them,
Especially
yeah.
executive producer. It's like, that guy is the money.
He sincerely paid for it.
So when you're watching a movie, that's probably the most important credit you see.
I learned that very recently.
Yeah, without executive producer, there's no movie.
Got you.
That's the guy that pays everybody. So But we made that movie cheap, thank God, because we're broke.
See, that's the thing, the magic, right? Of having what's the word I'm looking for? But damn, just
Low budget.
low budget. Yeah, so a low budget film, but when you make it look like it isn't low budget, I don't know what the word is, but just creativity. It doesn't look
We won, I think, 8 awards with that film.
right.
We went to 13 film festivals with that, and we
Wow.
beat. Yeah, and that movie cost me $2,000 to make.
Which is insane. If you watch it, the viewers back home, if you watch it, it's really good. Like you said, you didn't pay that much money, but it's a very high quality film. So
We beat films that were $500,000.
that's
Sheesh.
wild.
You know, and that was where we were like, okay, we're on the right track, I think, because if we had their money,
Imagine.
we can go get that money. We don't know if they can go get what we have. But yeah, if you can make that's why the perfect film to me is one character in a hotel room, because it doesn't cost us much.
Did you speak? Did you watch Whale
Mm-mm,
with Brendan Fraser?
mm-mm.
It's like
Is that the one he's winning all the awards for?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's literally that. It's
Recently?
a fat dude in his apartment. Daughter hates him. You know, and
Character driven.
character driven,
Right.
and it just goes to his past, to what happened in his past, why he got to the point where he was, and it's powerful. It's powerful. That's why it's won so many awards, and it's kind of like his comeback film because he's like been gone for a while.
It's a recent film?
Yeah,
Yeah, and he's
The
winning
Whale.
like everything.
Yeah.
Oh,
for
shit.
it. And he got really big for it. They did the makeup, the
Yeah.
bodysuit
No,
or
it's-
whatever.
He did a crazy, great job.
I'll see it because of. I've been meaning to see it, but your
But it'll
recommendation
make
too.
you just the eating scenes.
That's good.
It'll
It should
yeah.
should make you uncomfortable.
Yeah. That's why it's
Art-
such a good movie.
Like,
There's
he's
one
he's
thing
like
I
a
got
fat
from my
fuck?
dad, I think, as an artist, it was that my dad, and he's quoted in the Palm Beach Post from the 80s saying that my dad was interviewed a bunch of times by everywhere in South Florida, but the Palm Beach Post has a quote from my dad that says he wants to make art where people that come in are different when they leave. You know?
Yeah,
And that's what that film did to you. That film changed even a little part of you.
for sure. Just
Yeah.
perspective,
To be different when you come in. That's a quote by your dad?
That was, it was like something, and I don't want to misquote it,
Right.
but it was something along the lines of people need to be different when they leave the theater. And then I heard something that stuck with me when I was first making film or wanting to be a filmmaker different than an actor. Before The Edge of Madness, I heard a quote that said, if you can make an audience say one of these 3 things, you have an award-winning film. Either how'd they do that? I've never seen that before. Or I've never thought of that like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what that film did for you. You saw a guy eating. That's something that has never made you uncomfortable in your life, probably.
No.
But it made you uncomfortable. So you've never thought of that like that.
Yeah.
Damn.
The way he was
You know?
eating, though, was
He was
like, oh my.
I didn't see it. I don't want
Yeah, I don't want to even describe it.
It sounds like he was private in public,
Yeah.
He was
right.
just eating like a shit ton
which
of
is
food.
something really hard for actors to do.
He had a drawer full
Anybody
of
to do.
Kit Kats and just
crack.
and just the noises would make you know,
Addiction.
it's like yes, it was that,
Yeah, addiction, right?
and it was because I don't
It
want
is
to
a
ruin the
drug.
movie,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's because of trauma, obviously.
Right.
Obviously, it's because of trauma.
Right.
That's why that's all addiction really is.
Mm-hmm.
95% of addiction is based from trauma.
Yeah,
You know,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
not being able to cope with those emotions, so you numb it,
self-medicating. I'm sure.
self-medicating.
Damn. Well, on a lighter note,
Yes,
UFC was it 2 last night? UFC
284.
284.
Mm-hmm.
What a fucking fight. Volkanovski versus Makachev. Holy shit. First opinions after seeing it.
I thought
Who
it was
did you think won?
I'm biased though. I like Volkanovski.
Okay.
Um,
At least you're honest in that.
so I
sense.
think that my opinion is swayed.
Mm-hmm.
With that said,
Same.
I thought it was interesting how they switched spots in the fight.
Mm.
How Volkanovski was losing the striking
Right.
and winning the grappling,
Mm-hmm.
and how it wasn't supposed to be like that,
Yeah.
or at least holding his own.
Yeah.
And in the end, or winning the grappling in the end.
That's what impressed me the most. In the striking department, it was strange that I didn't think Makachev would be winning certain exchanges that he was winning, and then I thought once Islam, because he shot a couple times, he didn't get it. But I'm like, all right, these guys are relentless. The Dagestanis, they'll shoot 4, 5, 6 times, but once they get it, it's over. He did not keep, and when he got him down, he didn't stay down. He got up every time. I'm like, okay, once it gets to the 3rd, 4th, 5th round, he's gonna get tired.
He held him
Never
down
did.
a couple times, like took his back.
Round 4, he held him in that one position
Yeah.
for a long
But
time.
the thing is,
He
it was-
backpacked him the whole time.
Yes, but specifically, like Alex was against the cage, and I
Yeah.
think that's such an important thing with MMA when
Yes.
fighters get down. You have to make, because the cage is your friend in those situations. He was, because Islam couldn't completely go to the ground and completely hold him because Alex was pushing his back into Islam into
But
the
if
cage.
you notice, the next round he took him down in the middle of the cage.
Exactly.
And he popped right back up.
Yeah.
That's the
Right.
thing, right? When you're down in the middle of the cage, now you're in deep water.
I was screaming, do it for the short kings, Alex. Do it for the short kings.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, short kings,
like,
man.
yeah.
Let's go.
Me too, bro.
See it's interesting because
Fuck this big ass rushing up.
that was crazy. I don't know.
It's
who-
not strong,
I have to
too.
watch it
You can
again because
tell.
like I said, the last 30 seconds, the last minute maybe, Volkanovski was clearly winning that fight. So we kind of forget everything.
Well, that's because just like
like,
anything
boom.
else, you remember the first, the last, the best, the worst.
Exactly.
That's all you
Exactly.
remember in acting, in fighting. The first moment, the last moment, which was him whipping his ass.
So we tend to
He
think
definitely
that.
took that last round for sure.
That's why when one judge had it 3.
Yeah, that was weird. That
no,
was,
one judge had it 4-1.
Yeah, it was like
And I was like, well, you gave him that round for sure,
it was weird. There was
but you had him shutting him out 1 through 4.
I didn't
know,
I didn't
man.
understand
when
that
it
judgment.
came down to it, I thought it would have been a split decision.
2 of them might have had it right because they had it 3-2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's-
So I mean, that could.
I thought it would have been a split.
I
was like, all right,
almost
this is
said
going
draw.
to split, but
Yeah. I thought like
could've been a
I thought
draw.
like well I was missing some of it because it kept cutting off my my stream and
you mean your internet connection?
my internet connection and
Oh,
freaking-
shit.
and so I kept missing parts of it. So every time I would come back, it'd be like sort of the same situation.
Right.
But I thought it was like even going to the last round, and
It could have been 2-2 going in,
and I
which
thought,
would have given Volkanovski a 3-2 win.
and that's why I thought. But again, I'm biased too because I like Volk, Short Kings.
But there's also the whole you got to take the belt.
true.
But at
Yeah,
the same
that's
time-
the thing.
I've just thought of this too. Watching Makhachev striking, it never looks like he's doing too much.
Nah, he kept it
Basic.
simple, basic,
Simple.
jab
The,
two.
the basics. He's got a great straight left, the timing of it. He was
Mhm.
making him walk into that. The low kick you were talking about earlier. He's good defensively. He
Yeah.
doesn't waste energy.
No energy up.
As soon as you
wasted.
clinch up, you're eating fucking knees.
yeah,
And
They're
that's
smart.
basically it.
they're
It's like
smart.
the same thing,
They're all really smart
and then
fighters.
shoot times the takedown.
and then rely on that ground.
Yep,
But it works.
it works. Yeah,
My question after that fight,
nothing fancy, no spinny
No,
shit.
yeah, nothing crazy.
He's
bro.
not trying to do no crazy. Like he's not even fainting crazy. He's
No.
just fainting little
Which
jabs.
is why when he hit him with the head kick, it was like almost out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
Because
yeah,
you're not expecting.
yeah.
He
They're-
kind of gets you just kind of playing this dull game a little
Yeah.
bit.
they
Yeah.
get you. We're
And-
striking.
and-
We're striking. Boom.
Yep.
Now you're on the
and,
ground.
And Volk got caught in that a couple of times, and then you'd see him like, okay, let me just throw some more feints in there.
I think he was a little too cocky
Yeah.
in the striking.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was.
He fights with his hands down.
He said it afterwards. He was like, I underestimated his striking. He underestimated my wrestling.
Totally
And
agree.
holy shit. So, yeah, I guess Australia, man. I never put Australia on the map when it came to wrestling specifically, but holy fuck.
Is it fair to put him, to put Australia in wrestling, though, because
Nah.
of one guy?
I think it's just
But
And
There's
who did
other-
he bring
but-
in? Yeah, but who did he bring in?
Craig Jones.
That's
but
not
Craig,
Australia.
Craig Jones is Australian. Or not Craig Jones.
But he brought in specific people.
Yeah,
When you're a champ, you can obviously
Not Craig
pull
Jones.
in
You're talking about
specialists.
he brought Craig Jones, didn't he? He brought a guy named Craig, the big dude, big wrestler, big grappler in
Yeah.
the UFC.
Like,
Oh,
don't,
maybe
get,
I'm
don't
thinking.
get it twisted.
I'm thinking of
It doesn't hurt
fuck.
Australia's wrestling reputation. But at the same time, I don't know if we say this is a wrestling.
Okay,
I think it's a testament to just Volk's like.
That's
Yes,
what I
but-
think more.
how
if
he
we're gonna get
trains.
out of the subject
Yeah.
slightly, like the fight before Jimmy Crute, right? That guy, he won the fight completely through wrestling and jiu-jitsu. He kept taking down Alonzo Metafield. Alonzo Metafield was piecing him the fuck up.
He was
He
hurting
was
him bad.
He was
hurting
hurt.
him. He almost. I thought he was done at one point.
A
but
couple points.
They could have stopped the
I
fight.
thought
He was
I thought
fucking
he
wobbly.
was a zombie on
He
his
was a
feet.
zombie.
Dude, he was hurting, bro.
And oddly enough, I've always noticed about Jimmy Crute, he is either he's bow-legged or his ACLs are fucked up. Like his toes point inwards, and when he's like walking, his knees are like pointing towards each other. I don't know if he's like I've
There's
noticed that in a
something
few
weird
fights.
about Crute, which is why the fight I saw him live, the Masvidal Usman 2 card, he fought Lionheart, and he got kicked with the fucking
His
calf
ACL
kick,
snapped,
and it fucked his leg up.
but he shot a double leg like instantly. You know what I mean? So will I say Australia has the best fucking wrestling in the world? Hell no. But there's something about it. I don't know. Like you go down under, they might got something.
It didn't hurt. Last night helped Australia, and they did really well on the whole card, except
Overall,
for the heavyweight, or not the heavyweight.
Tyson. Yeah, he lost to the dude. I forget his name, but
Somebody
that was the
lost.
guy that Khalil Roundtree like remember he did that side kick to his ACL and then like snapped it. He got booted from the UFC, went over to Cage Warriors,
Fought 3 times in 15 months.
and then
Took
came
the
back
fight on a week's notice.
and came back and beat a high level guy like Pedro, which
He was lighting him up.
I didn't get to
too.
watch that fight.
He was beating him up.
It was a
dude.
good fight.
I saw that heavyweight fight. The dude with the
I missed that one, but it was quick, right?
yeah.
Justin Taft.
Quick
Taffa,
yeah,
Taffa.
bro,
quick
he
uppercut, just
fucked up
out.
Parker
Porter.
Oh my god!
I mean, I think
That was
overall
wild.
Australia fighters did well.
No,
Yeah.
they
They did
got
good on the
some-
undercard.
Yeah,
They did good in the. I mean, even Vulcan losing, his stock goes up losing.
you know.
Yeah, I don't
who
think he lost in that fight. You know,
I don't
like,
think he lost either. But
Man, you know who I feel bad
I mean,
for?
stock and like
I'd have been okay with a draw too.
Yeah,
Last night.
yeah.
That's what I
was so ready to be like, yeah, I knew,
Yeah.
but and
I
then
was on the edge of my seat when Bruce Buffer
I wasn't
was.
too mad. I was like, yeah, I mean,
It's better for the sport that he didn't win
yeah.
You think?
because it would have held up 2 divisions,
Mm-hmm.
2 really packed divisions, and
With
it would have
people
still
online.
made a second fight have to happen.
You
Yeah.
think?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they would have been like, they
Oh,
gotta
I see
fight
what
again.
you're saying. Like, yeah,
That's
they have
still
to run
gonna
that
happen.
back.
They will run it back.
Yeah.
But they're gonna have to each defend titles. He's gonna have to. The second fight will be even bigger.
Well,
if it
I don't
happens.
think he would have had to fight him again. He probably would have had to fight Charles Volk
Nah.
because he
They-
was next. They told Charles he's next no matter what.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
No,
know that.
Charles is fighting. What's his name? Dariush.
I think if he would have
Oh, you're
beat him,
right.
if he would have beat him that in that close of a fight last night, you
It would've-
take my title that close, and I
would've-
believe I won and shit. Like,
Yeah. That's true,
Especially
that's true.
those Russians and those Dagestanis got a lot of backing in the UFC now.
and it
for
wouldn't
sure.
have been the first time that Dana White's pulled the rug out from a fighter he promised some shit to. I mean, come on, bro. Yeah, you got a title.
Ain't
fight.
no promises in the
Bullshit.
UFC.
Dariush-
Psych,
yeah.
motherfucker.
Dariush is
Going to the
due,
money.
is due his for
Yeah.
sure. I think Benio Dariush is due his title shot. He's like the Tony Ferguson of the new, like, you know how Tony Ferguson was like on a 12-fight win streak, and he was
The
just,
dark horse that nobody wanted to fight but fought
Yeah.
everybody. Like,
yeah, and then he was just sitting on the sideline for
Dog,
so
you should've
long.
dog.
I think it needs one more.
One more, yeah,
One more.
him and Charles should.
Him and Charles.
him and
I
Charles.
mean, if he
I
beats
think-
Charles, it's not even
I
a
think
question.
that's the next one. I think that's their next.
Whoever wins that fight, that's not a question of who
Yeah.
the number one
Yeah, yeah.
contender is.
What's it called? What a fucking sport. Like, honestly, the UFC, for all the slack they get, I don't give a shit. It is the best entertainment on Saturday night you could fucking watch.
It's the hardest sport.
It's the fucking UFC.
Dude,
Like,
it is.
and that's not taking anything away from Bellator, PFL, ONE FC, because I still watch those fights, not nearly as much as the UFC. The UFC has my heart.
There has to be a
I
standard,
don't know why,
man.
like-
That's the gold standard.
It is. I just cannot. It's the production value. It's the fighters. It's Joe Rogan,
Even
Michael
live, dude.
Bisping,
Even live.
DC, everything. Like,
Bro, there's
I'm
not
obsessed
been-
with the UFC.
I've seen every kind of concert you can go to.
I've
Huge-
never been to a fight
huge
live.
names.
UFC fight live.
Bro,
for that
UFC,
matter.
I've been to NFL, I've been to the Olympics, I've been to every sport live professionally.
Oh shit.
Like almost every single one. Olympic soccer, fucking boxing, everything. NFL, NHL, NBA, everything. UFC is the best live show.
Oh, then there you
For
go.
production value, I mean, just everything.
Yeah, you can't get better than that shit. But
How about this season of Tough that's coming up with Conor McGregor and
is it?
Michael
I
Chandler.
don't know that. Have
My
they
money's
brought
on the
the
lone wolf.
Mine too. Mine too. Mine
We can't.
too.
We can't get into details
All
of that
day.
One, huh?
Well, those that know what
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just
yeah,
said.
yeah.
Know
No.
what I just said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll bet my house on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my horse I picked in that race, bro.
Shit.
That's going to the homie.
He is.
I told him just be yourself, bro.
Yeah.
They
That's
gonna
all he's
love
got to
you.
do.
They gonna love you.
Despite everything, at the end of the day, he is a very good fighter. Like one of the best fight IQs there is out there, and like I said, beside everything, I genuinely see the passion in his eyes
He's got
when
the
it comes.
unteachable things.
He has something that you can't teach, and I don't even know if it's something you're born with.
And he's one of those guys that grew up in it, like
Yeah,
that. That they're
out
like,
the mud type shit.
Like no, I grew up doing boxing, wrestling, but he came up doing
Mixed.
everything.
Right.
So he's one of those kids coming
Yeah.
up in that generation.
Well, he really.
He's younger than us.
No, he's our age.
So 4 years
He's
ago, I
he's
made my
27,
first
26, 27.
Titan
No, he's like
videos,
24.
and he was the first guy that I filmed for Titan.
Mm.
Well, I had 3 together: him, Danny Sabatello, and Martin Brown.
I can't say his name, but yeah,
Martin Brown, Danny Sabatello, and him. So that's a great little start.
y'all gonna have to crack the code on this one.
But I knew right away, man. I gave my wife for a Christmas present striking lessons from him, and I could have. I mean, you guys know I know every fighter, right?
Yeah.
Like around here, so I could have asked almost anybody.
Yeah.
But I knew that years ago. I said, this guy,
Yeah, he's special.
if he stays focused and doesn't get hurt, which has all happened,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and he's still where he's supposed to be.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, he's great. I it'll work out for him. It'll work out for
I
him for
believe.
sure.
I've always believed in that guy.
For sure. But back to segueing back to the fights. My one question I had after seeing Volk versus Islam is how that fight was so close. How would he do against Khabib? You know what I'm saying? Like, put this into perspective. Everyone's saying Islam is better than Khabib. People
don't
say
think
that his striking is better than Khabib.
I still don't see that.
I don't
dude.
think he's better than Khabib.
Me
bro.
neither.
Khabib taught him. I mean,
Khabib said it.
Nah, Khabib,
But he could be hyping him up.
That's his boy. He's about to retire.
You're supposed.
You know?
Khabib is supposed to say that.
Exactly,
Like,
exactly. You're right.
said
But
what
you
he's
really
supposed to
think
say, bro.
Khabib thinks that, bro? No, man.
Nobody
Come on.
beats me. Nobody,
Come on.
brother.
Nobody, brother.
Khabib still think he could probably beat.
Okay.
Khabib thinks he could probably beat.
We can agree on
lightweight,
this.
light heavyweights.
We agree. We
And
agree
he
on
could
this.
beat probably some of them.
Islam's striking is better than Khabib's, at least.
We don't know that.
I don't even know that.
What do
We
you
don't know-
mean?
because
26 fights?
No, bro, Khabib didn't even get to show his striking because he just would
I
wrestle.
remember him
motherfuckers.
dropping McGregor hard as fuck.
and
with
and his striking
in their fight.
would be similar. They're just basic overhands.
I feel
jabs.
like when he's punching somebody on the ground, Khabib, there's more damage being
Yeah.
inflicted than when Makhachev is more positioning,
Yeah.
which may be why we're in this mirage of Khabib. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's more smash, hold,
Yeah.
grab.
He's
whereas-
positioning, hold down, smash.
Where this guy's more tactical and
Yeah.
not as flashy.
It's an interesting conversation to have because no one gave Volk a chance coming into this. Nobody.
He was a
Everyone
3-1
said that.
underdog.
Everyone said Volk is going to get fucked up first round. He's going to get taken down. It's going to be over with. Whoosh, whoosh,
Most,
bam,
yes.
it's gone.
Most.
But fuck, look
Most
what
of them,
happened.
yeah.
So that's why in my head I'm curious. All right, what if that was Khabib? Let's see would he at least be as consistent with the stuffs of takedowns? Would he at least be consistent with because Khabib is shorter than Islam, no?
I think Khabib.
I think he is a little bit
he's
shorter.
a little bit shorter,
but he's a little bit bigger.
and his body style
thicker.
works a lot better for that style that
Low
he
center
has
of gravity, yeah.
than Islam's body style, which is what makes the big difference.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
In that 4th round that we were talking about,
Mm-hmm.
where he held him there, Khabib wouldn't have just held him, dude.
You think Khabib would have face
Khabib-
down?
Remember, think about the Edson Barboza fight.
Yeah.
And Edson trying to wall walk up the cage, and Khabib
That was watching a torture film.
just smashing him, dude. Every punch hurt. Every punch was damage.
yeah.
He would have not just sat and held him for 3 minutes. He would have probably ended Volkanovski. You're talking about a bigger guy in a bigger division who looks to kill
Yeah.
in that position. I don't think he would have just held to hold him.
Yeah. But
So maybe
Islam
it's a
was
killer
he was
instinct
trying to
thing.
submit him though. He
But
wasn't
maybe
trying
it's
to.
a killer instinct thing.
Yeah. At the same time, too,
I don't know.
I remember when Khabib went against that Hispanic dude. He was shorter, a little bit shorter, and he stuffed a lot of his takedowns. And that was one of his controversial fights. It was one of his earlier UFC fights.
Abel Trujillo.
Yes, against Trujillo. That fight kind of would show you a little bit how a shorter dude would do against Khabib. I feel like,
Maybe.
But Alex is different. Volkanovski is a little bit different.
Abel, I think, is a lot bigger
Yeah.
than Volk.
Yeah, but he was like a short, stocky guy.
Is he still in the UFC?
Sure,
I
no.
don't remember.
No.
I don't remember.
But
Older
he
guy?
he was like
Yeah.
almost unnaturally.
He's on that
I don't want to say nothing about
TRT
that.
wave. I mean,
I didn't say it, but
hey, man.
Yeah.
It
But-
was legal at the time, I guess.
Yeah,
Maybe.
probably during those
fighters
days.
look different then. It's been years
Yeah.
since he's been in the UFC.
Yeah.
But I
They
remember
still
that fight.
do it, but they get
Because he
away
had
with
the
it now.
seatbelt for constant takedowns. It was just like fucking 10 takedowns in
Yeah.
a row. I think he broke the record for takedowns
Yeah.
in that fight.
Shit.
Was it that guy?
Abel Trujillo fought Khabib early in Khabib's career.
Yeah.
Then Khabib fought, it was my first UFC I ever saw live. He was on the undercard. He beat RDA.
I remember
So
that
there's
fight.
another short Spanish-looking dude that he dominated.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Think about that on the undercard, bro.
Yeah.
That was an undercard.
Wait, is
fight.
Volkanovski, is that a Polish name? Volkanovski?
Volkanovski.
Is it, or that Russian?
The
It
Russian.
does sound kind of Polish.
Volkanovski. But he's Australian.
Yeah.
He's probably like born in Australia, like lived in Australia, but his roots are probably lie within, I would say, somewhere in Eastern Europe.
Probably.
Volkanovski. Ski. It sounds a little Polish.
Sounds a little bit Jewish. Sounds a little Jew.
Maybe he's a Jew. Who knows? Damn.
Possibly.
No wonder he's a champ.
No wonder.
All right. Well,
No wonder he's the champ.
I wanted to get into some comic books.
Let's
But
get into comments.
number one comic book seller. How many comic books you sell in a week nowadays?
Definitely not the number one comic book seller.
Didn't you got the award for
We got an award like a year and a half ago for best team on Whatnot.
okay.
And I think it's because people like to just hear me and my wife bicker in the background. Like that's part of
It's
it.
entertaining.
Yeah, because we're not like scripted. This is a real marriage unfolding.
So where do you? How does that work? Where? What
so there's
now?
an app called Whatnot.
Okay.
One word, Whatnot.
Okay.
And you can go on there and watch live auctions 24 hours a day of every kind of collectible. So there's Pokemon auctions happening 24 hours a day. And it's just somebody with their camera phone that's a seller. Where, like, say my camera's here and the microphone is the product.
Mm.
And they're talking about that and they start the bidding and you can bid. And
Oh, okay.
I've been there a few times in there. Oh,
toys,
a lot
comic
of times
books,
actually.
shoes. Now
Anything.
they have food.
Any
Anything.
everything.
babies?
What's that?
Any babies?
No babies, but baby mama potential.
Oh,
I don't know if you can buy
Sell your
partners
wife.
on there, but you can meet, and there are
No way.
good-looking people on
Seriously?
there. I mean,
You bid for my wife for the
Yeah.
night?
how much? Depends, you know, everybody's got a price. We got to feed these kids. But yeah, we sell comic books. I mean, I sell probably 200 books a week on average.
Let's go, man. That's a lot.
What's your best selling? Like, what's the best seller? Usually.
What genre?
Yeah. Well, I guess which superhero? Which comic? Like,
It depends on what's going on in the comic world. So like right now, Batman's really hot
Gotcha.
because they got the new Batman movie coming out. You got to watch on what's going on in, as far as like movies and TV shows being made. So they just announced that they're doing a Flash movie, a Batman movie,
with
Harley Quinn. All the main characters are always really popular.
they're revamping the whole thing, the whole DC universe, aren't they?
They are.
Live action.
DC's always changing everything. DC's hard to keep up with.
I liked the Snyder version of Justice League a lot better, which is the longer version because the first version was like the cut. They destroyed.
I don't even know.
I watched the
destroyed
one
it.
when I was a kid on
They
Cartoon
destroyed
Network.
it. No, I'm talking about the live action. Like,
Oh, I've
of
never
the new
seen live
superheroes.
action
But
shit.
they cut like Henry Cavill was gonna go back to being Superman, but they cut him. Like James Gunn, whatever.
They
his name.
keep changing stuff
Yeah.
all the time. I mean, for me, I'm addicted to the hustle of it. I'm a
Right.
hustlers, so like I like buying a comic book for $5 and flipping it for $50. I
That's
like
nice.
trying to find like, and it's the art of it. I don't get attached to any of it. I just move so many books that it's like, that looks really dope, and that's really hard to find.
Yeah.
And your production value too, because I've been at a lot of your shows. It's pretty high level. So I think people are tuning in and they're entertained by your arguments, and then you're like selling the books and like the
But we've
lights
helped
are
a
going
lot of
off.
other
and,
shows too. It's
and-
a community, just like the fight world. We've helped a lot of other comic shows that don't know anything about production.
Yeah. No, I didn't even know that shit existed. There's so many like cultures and things out there that you don't even know. Like
Neither did I.
This is new to
Comic-
me. This
like-
is new to me.
comic books, bro. It's a fucking.
Bro, I never
$1
opened
industry.
a comic book until I was 40 years old.
Fuck.
What?
Open-
So you just started slinging comic
Yeah,
books?
dude. I never opened a comic book in
Damn.
my
And
He's
life.
really
until
good at
2 years
it.
ago.
Made a living off of it.
You in the streets, bro.
Yeah.
Slinging comic
And
books.
I was with my friend Chris, and he's been a comic book fan his whole life, and we had just got done filming a fighter.
Mm-hmm.
We were on our way back, and he's like, "Hey man, do you mind if we stop at the comic store?" And I thought in my head, "Fucking nerd." I swear to God, that's what I thought. I'm like, "Fucking nerd, man." And I'm like, but I was like, I remember at the time he was going through something,
Yeah.
Okay.
and I was like, you know what, man, let's go to the comic store. And I thought, let me do this for my homie. Like, I don't care about none of this shit. Let me just like be with him. And then I thought to myself, I've never even been in a comic store, I don't think.
My first time was with you.
And if I have, I was a little kid and don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
So I went in there,
I didn't even know they still existed. I'm gonna be
and I
honest
started
with
looking at prices, bro. And I started looking at shit, and I was like, this is kind of cool, man. This is kind of like one of the most magical places on earth, this comic store that I'm in right now. It's all colorful, and there's all this cool shit. I'm surrounded by imagination.
you. Yeah.
I just left a violent situation and a production situation where I'm working and watching people fight, which is what I do a lot. And I think that changes somebody, too. What you put in affects you.
Mm-hmm.
So I watch a lot of people getting beat up. A lot of people I care about I've watched get beat up.
Yeah, that's the worst.
So I don't want to lose all of myself to that. So this was a kind of a cool, like, oh, this is like the opposite of that.
Mm-hmm.
Here's this really colorful world that's violent too, but it's
Yeah.
nobody's getting hurt.
Yeah.
Does it give you any like nostalgia for like from when back
Sure,
in the day?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I find stuff, I sell a lot of antique books. I got 12-cent book, 10-cent books, But then I started looking into the whole, like how much everything's worth, and I was like, this is really a deep world, man.
It goes deep.
It's so fucking
Explain-
deep, dude.
And going comic book shopping with Justin, he's very particular. That's why if you see him on Whatnot, like the shit he's selling you isn't bullshit because he goes into the store, he'll look at it, he'll flip, like the way he flips through the pages because he knows the value of the comic book.
Yeah.
If there's fingerprints, there's oil, there's all these things from just people touching it.
That's
like
what I was gonna ask.
The first comic, like say he sees a specific comic book that he wants, all right, the first one, never go for the first one. You have to go through the back, carefully pick it up. Like, don't even use the tip of your
There's
fingers.
so many different things like he's talking about.
I was gonna
crazy.
ask you what's like your process.
Like,
to-
But
it's a lot.
Even mailing a comic book.
It's a lot.
do you
Dude,
put-
mailing if you buy a comic book for me for $100,
Yeah.
bro, this is a thin little delicate thing.
Right.
It's not mailing you a letter. There's a specific way to do it, But we've become addicted to it. And the people in that
It's a cool
world, just like
process.
the people in the fight world, are so cool.
Mm-hmm.
These people in the comic world are all these little, not all of them, but it's like this special group of nerds
Yeah.
that are so intelligent
Yeah.
and so creative. And I've seen the comic world influence my filming. It's made me better at lighting.
Okay.
I know that for sure. Color schemes that I've noticed because I don't read most of these comic books, but I'll flip through some of them, and I appreciate the art of it.
Yeah.
But
I'll read some on like YouTube when I wanna like
that's the best way to read them.
get into like some when I hear because some comics that are coming out with now they're great stories, And back in the day they had crazy stories too, but now with the new art style and the way they're doing it now, it's just so cool to look at it and just hear some of this. Like they got this Spider-Man one where Dr. Octavius becomes Spider-Man.
Well, you talking about the Edge of Spider-Verse?
No, this one's called
Because that movie's coming out too, so that's
yeah.
huge for everybody.
Yeah, that one's gonna be a good movie too. They came out with the first one with Miles Morales, but this one's it's called Supreme Spider-Man, something like that. And it's like where Dr. Octavius becomes like Spider-Man's body, takes over his body and becomes Spider-Man. Does his job basically better than him
Damn.
but in a more violent way.
Here's a good rule of thumb for buying a comic book. Any big character, Spider-Man, Thor, name a big character, Daredevil,
Yeah.
a big character
yeah.
that's been around forever. The older, the better.
Mm.
And look at the condition of the front of it. So if you're holding a book like this and I open it like this, look at the spine of the book where it bends. Try not to get like color ticks, like little line ticks that change the color of the book. So if it's a black cover, like a cut in the book that makes it not like it's like a white line.
Mm-hmm.
So look and see if it's intact. But everybody has like a grail book in the comic world, like a book that's like the far away. Like I'll never get that book, but that's the book I want, the Holy Grail book.
Right.
Dude, mine is X-Men #1.
Mm.
Uncanny X-Men #1 from like 1960 something. Bro,
Ooh.
listen to me. if you have if this is the cover of the book, dude, if you just have a tear of the page,
It's fucked.
no, it's not.
It's
No?
it's a lot
That
of money.
tear
Oh, the tear.
is worth a lot of money, bro.
Damn. How many of them are there?
Not many.
Sheesh.
But Uncanny X-Men, and another way is download an app called Key Collector. Key Collector, it's an app, it's free. I can type in Uncanny X-Men and look up what it's worth right now. In a
Ooh.
great condition, it shows perfect condition, mid, and low.
Oh, it tells you from taking a picture of it.
Tells you. No.
Shit.
You just type it in.
Oh,
And
I
it's
see.
almost every comic book ever. So you and I could go in a comic book right now and we could all have that app.
Yeah.
What does that go for? Like a
Uncanny X-Men? I'm
Uncanny.
going to look it up right now. I'm
Yeah.
turning my phone on, but like Spider-Man #1.
okay.
Superman #1, which I think would be like Detective Comics #1 or something. You're talking 1940s, bro. There's not a lot of them. Think about all the shit we were talking about earlier with us not taking care of shit when we were kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Interesting.
Like there's a whole art to this, you know.
Crazy. I didn't know. And guys out there, if you have comic books, hit up Justin. We'll put his Instagram up here.
Yeah,
and he'll
please.
tell. I've seen a lot of people come to you and be like, "Oh, how much is this comic worth?" And you're honest with them. You tell them this, "Hey, I'll buy it off of you, or I'll get it off of you, or
Well,
I can
most
sell
of the
it."
time
and we'll
it's bad
split
news.
Like, yeah, it's. But a lot of people have a lot of comic books that they don't even know are worth so much money. Like I had this Superman toy that my mom got me for Christmas when I was really young, and it was a big ass. It was like this big, like probably I don't know how, like maybe a foot long, and unopened. And she got it from like a thrift store or something. But little did we know it was like a very antique Superman, and it was worth a fuck ton of money. But I didn't figure that out till years later. But I never opened it, thank God. I just kept it in the box. Like I just never.
That's worth money.
It was worth a shit ton of money. But
I mean,
then,
if you're looking for an antique or something, if you're out in the public and if you guys are at a thrift store and you see a toy and you're like, is this worth anything? Because sometimes you will find gold.
yeah, no, it was crazy. Like it
Google
was,
what the toy is. Look at the shit that's written on it. Google it, but look at what's sold, not what it's for sale for. I can take this cup of coffee and say this is $500 for sale.
Well, how
doesn't mean
like
it's
the
worth
people
that.
that sold it. Yeah,
Right.
No, it was in mint condition, which is rare that my mom got it at a thrift store, and it was like perfect condition. But a few years later, once we figured out how much it was worth, I had a little cousin. She went in my room and she opened it and was playing with it. So
Oh no.
yeah,
It's still probably worth something. I'm gonna look
no,
at this.
it was fucked.
Oh no.
Because it was opened. That was the.
So somebody look at here. Download this app real quick. Key Collector. Like a key you open a door with, because I don't know why I'm not getting good reception in here.
Yeah, you gotta get on the Wi-Fi.
But there is, I mean, like Spider-Man #1. I don't know.
Interesting.
But you'll find, I mean, collectibles really came back during the pandemic.
How do you feel about like NFTs? Like when that whole NFT shit
I
started.
don't know a lot about it.
I think it was bullshit. No,
And I think it's bullshit more than it's...
worth.
At first, like people were really bought into it, but
My bad.
it just became a whole.
I think they've
scheme.
proven that it was
after.
bullshit.
I mean, after the FTX thing happened, which I'm not too knowledgeable about, but I know that they screwed a lot of people over.
That's why I just don't trust, dude. I never got
So-
into crypto. I never got into NFTs. I'm an old school guy.
Yeah.
Show me a fight. That guy punching that guy. I can see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can hold this comic book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
anything outside of that,
I know, dude. I seen a dude like that spent like almost $1 million on an NFT, like on a great ape.
for what?
Was he
and-
profitable off of it?
No, because he got it at the highest point.
Yeah, I'm like,
and
did
then
you make $1 million?
No.
$1,000,001.
he actually lost. He actually lost more. Like
probably
those
lost $900,000.
those great apes are not even worth that much.
But it's like,
anymore.
what's the point? Like, it's just something. It's not. You can't touch it.
Yeah.
I bet you
even
that
if it's
scrap
like-
of
It had to
paper,
do
like-
with like blockchains and like.
But even like
some-
cryptocurrency, you can't really touch, but you could at least pull it out. So say like something
depends.
like Bitcoin, right? It's really down right now, but it's gonna go back up eventually.
I've lost money like sponsoring fighters.
But yeah, that's the shit like that. Like with cryptocurrency, you can buy into it and it goes down. Like Bitcoin right now, it's fucked. But you wait, it'll go back up. It will eventually.
Same thing with comics.
Yeah,
They
right?
call it speculating on a
So
comic.
comics is similar to crypto in a way, like the value
It's
of a
just the
certain
market.
comic book.
Let's say
goes up and down.
Miles Morales #1 comes out
Right.
Wednesday. By the way, every single Wednesday is new comic release day. So if you're gonna go to a comic store, go on a Wednesday.
Gems.
Every single Wednesday, all the new DCs come out, all the new Marvel and everybody else comes out. If Miles Morales Spider-Man #1 comes out Wednesday, there's gonna be a bunch of dudes like me.
Lined up.
I don't do this, but a bunch of people like what I do, and they will walk in the comic store and buy all 50 of their copies of it.
Yeah.
That's
It's like the shoe game. Like
and
when
they spec on it.
Oh.
They hold it.
So they control the
And
market.
they let it go up.
It's like the shoe
and then
game,
they
bro.
sell them online for way more.
So how much? So the comic book stores is similar to shoes. They sell them at market value.
Yeah.
Like they'll sell them low, so people buy them in bulk.
$3.99 is the average comic book.
So even if they know this comic book is going to be worth a shit ton of money, they can't do anything about it.
What they can do, well, they can price jack, but then you're just going to go down the street to the other comic store that doesn't do that.
So would a comic book store keep a certain book like Miles Morales
Sure.
1? They'll like have like, oh, we only have 10.
The
but
guy
they
that
really have
owns the
15.
comic store,
He
every
has a
day
bunch.
before he opens, he's like, I'll take 2 of these.
Yep,
and I'll take one of these.
For his own little, of course.
But there's
they
also
have-
something called ratios.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll get a 1 in 25. So if we're a comic store and we order 100 Miles Moraleses,
Yeah.
we get 4 1 in 25s, 2 1 in 50s, and a 1 in 100 extra. Because we ordered 100, we get 1 in 100.
They'll
So
hold on
then
to
we
that.
could sell that one for whatever price we want. This is a 1 in 100 Miles Morales #1 ratio.
Meaning it's like a specific.
Meaning you have to buy 100 of the cover A to get one of these. So for every 100 of the cover A that everybody can go get, there's one of these made. Now they do them 1 in 10s, 1 in 25s, 1 in 50s. The higher the number, the more money it's worth.
Got you.
So people will literally buy, just like shoes, they'll buy the whole lot,
Well, it's mainly comic stores.
but the store itself, not an individual.
So
I
then
can't
they'll
walk
sell
into
the ratios to the common man like me and you, and
Uh-huh.
then those are in circulation.
and then we'll keep it at home. Wait.
Or sell it like me. Like
Okay.
tomorrow, I'm selling a 1 in 25 Amazing Spider-Man.
Okay.
I'm starting the bidding at $20
Okay.
because that's what I bought the comic for.
Right.
So
no
I
matter
can't
what,
lose.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll break even at worst.
Right. But of course, someone. So that's the game. Someone out there was like, all right, even though you paid $20 for it, to me that's going to complete my collection, and I really want to complete
Or
mine.
it's
So
the
I'm
kid
willing to
in
pay
Kansas
you $50.
that can't get to a comic store or has never been to a comic store. He's not here where I have a million good comic stores. I'm the comic store for that kid.
Or some kid in Japan that's like, oh my God,
Right.
I need this one. They
But
don't
where
have
I
it in my
paint
country.
the hook a little bit is I go, see this big book right here? We're going to spin a wheel at the end of the show. And if it lands on your name, you win that big book. Now, how do you get your name on the wheel? Every $5 increment you spend, that's a slice on the wheel.
Damn,
Plus,
creativity at its
my
finest.
wife bakes you freshly baked cookies that come with your comic books.
That's what's up.
Ooh. See,
So-
that's the production value is just like.
So if you
it's
buy that
another
book for
level.
20, that's 4 slices on the wheel.
That's good
and
business.
then the
right
higher
there.
chance you get, and then
And
fuck.
you might win that $100 book right there.
and you paid
But you'll
$20,
definitely
yeah.
get cookies with your comic if you get that slice.
Justin Sims,
So that's how we try to flip it.
the best man in the game. I really fucking appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much
Dude,
for
I
coming.
might start hustling comics.
No, it's a good
Bro.
business.
Bro.
I
It's so
bought
much
a few,
fun.
Like I bought a few comics
Instead of
and
drugs,
he's flipped them
you
for
know?
me. Yeah,
Because I've been
Get out of the drug business,
Sometimes you
people.
struggle and you like, man, should I go back
See,
into
I
the
used to
game?
live like that too.
Should I
Yeah.
go back into the game, man? You know,
Slang instead of slinging dope, sling comics. You'll make a higher profit. I can't guarantee that you'll sell them as quickly.
Become a hope dealer,
Yeah,
not a
it's-
dope dealer.
Yeah,
There you go. There you go.
There you go. Because I guarantee you probably sell dope a lot faster because you have a lot quicker clientele. But comic books is a lot safer.
Here's the thing: is the dope sells itself.
Yeah,
You're never gonna run into a dope dealer that's going, how do I get rid of all this heroin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're never going to. No. You,
Guys, I don't know how we're gonna get rid of all this cocaine.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, I'm
The
having so
cocaine
much trouble
will
will
right
sell
now.
itself.
go on Instagram. Anyone want some coke?
Yeah. Now comics, you're gonna have a little harder. So you gotta push that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
you have a wider market. No, not even.
it's also not hurting anyone.
Yeah, there we go.
I don't know. Paper cuts. How many deaths come by
But
paper
people
cuts?
don't read. Like
My
the-
kids have become avid readers because of us in the comic world. They both love it.
That's
It's-
great.
yeah, dude. It's just it's been a
They're
blessing.
easy to read. See that, but I don't think people like physical comic books. People aren't reading them because
They need to. The
Well, if
stories
you-
are much
But
better.
I'm saying the actual book itself, if you read it, the value of it goes down because you're putting your finger.
Well, there's a way to hold it,
Okay.
but also Jim Lee said this best, who's one of the biggest comic names ever.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Lee said, you can see a tit on TV, you can see it in a movie, you can see tits online, but there's nothing like holding the real one in your hand. Right?
That's
And that's
true.
the same thing with a comic book.
Ah.
Yeah.
He said comics are like tits.
I remember, I would sneak my mom's friend's son's comics, and I would just open them, and it's like a whole world.
Dude,
you
it's
know?
dope. You have to read them twice.
Yeah.
You have to read the words, and you have to read the pictures, too.
Yep.
Some of my favorite comic books have hardly any words.
I read manga now, so I read
Manga's dope.
I read a lot of manga now.
Dimitri reads a lot of manga. And isn't it backwards? You read it the other
backwards,
way.
yeah.
Oh.
That fucks
It
me
fucks
up.
me up though. I'm not gonna lie, because if
I don't know if I could do it, dude.
and
Got a
I try to
cousin
read,
that
I
does
try to
that.
read a regular book, and then it's like,
Dude, but the illustrations are like,
yeah.
yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
They get wild, especially the dark ones I read. They're pretty.
Go
nice.
to a comic store, everybody, soon.
I
Yeah,
will.
I've
Shit, I'm about
Change
to
a
go
lot
to
of
one.
people. Yeah,
It's
let's
a
go,
good
right now.
escape. It's a good escape from reality, man.
Oh, that's awesome.
A healthy one.
Yeah. There we go.
Hell yeah.
All right. Where could the people find you, Justin? You have your Instagram, right?
There,
Sims Guy Comics.
Okay.
On
Sims
Instagram.
_guy_ comics. Let's go.
And every Monday night at 10 p.m. we're on Whatnot.
What's your whatnot? It's the same thing.
Sims Guy Comics.
Is it _ Sims _
It's just
No.
Sims Guy.
Sims Guy Comics on whatnot.
Yeah, and we do 2 live shows a week, but every Monday at 10 p.m. is like our always time.
Okay. Okay.
Minty Mondays, minty fresh books.
All right.
Ooh.
All right.
That's dope.
Thank you guys for watching another episode of the Define Podcast.
Thank you guys.
And I never said it before, but make sure you follow our YouTube channel, give us a like, give us a subscription, and we're coming out with some more content. Thank you guys. Till next time.
Woo!
Thank you to our new sponsors, Flow State Coffee. Flow State Coffee is a performance coffee with ingredients that give you a deeper focus, better mood, and it lowers caffeine-related anxiety so you don't get any jitters or shake. It's coffee made to get shit done.
Be sure to use discount code DEFY, DEFY at checkout for 10% off all sales.